information. Okay, hello everyone. This is Centaurus TSC Meeting, and welcome everyone. And this is the meeting logistic. As mentioned, I will be posting the meeting minutes and meeting agenda in this link. I will also be sending this information again in the calendar after this meeting is done. And this is the agenda for today. Dr. Sean will be leading the meeting. And before we start, do we want to go around and introduce each other?
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe I can start with me.
Okay, introduction.
Hold on. Can everybody see me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. Well, hello everyone. Good evening or good morning, depends on where you are. Again, my name is Sean. I leading the cloud lab here at Virtual Way. I'm being Virtual Way with I don't know 6 years now. Feel like a very short time, but I've been 6 years now. But since last March, we basically work from home almost a year now. So we work from home almost a year now. I think everybody's like that. And before I before I come to the Virtual Way, I work at Microsoft for I don't know 7, 8 years, and then before that is AT&T for about 10 years, I guess. So that's based on my experience. My interest, of course, as you say, is a cloud-related technology. Many is actually the cloud distributed system. So personally, I like sports. So I especially the basketball. I actually play basketball. I'm actually was a college team. It's not a good team, but I was in the college team play. So I like to watch NBA a lot. Los Angeles Lakers is still my favorite teams now. Okay. I think other than that, well, I'm just talking a little bit about Cloud Lab. We're basically doing open source project and open collaboration. So we hopefully this year we continue to collaborate with some of you guys, and we continue to do the open source project. Centaurus is a key project, started with Virtual Way, but now it's part of Linux Foundation. I really appreciate and thank you for all your support for this project. I'm hoping that the community will grow, the community strong, that can continues to support this Centaurus project. Hopefully, we have customers start using this. It doesn't matter who you are, and so thank you for supporting this ecosystems. And we have other projects from like storage project we have. I think we have AI research some project, and then we're also looking for some of continuous collaboration with this year too on the AG side, on the AI side. I think Xiaoning can talk about that a little bit during the Centaurus project update. Okay, I know almost everyone's here, so welcome. Thank you.
Okay, I can go next. All right. Hey, hello everybody. Nice to meet you guys. I'm really excited about this Centaurus project. And so I've been in open source for quite a while. I was on the board of OpenStack Foundation for about 4 years. And then after that, I was on the board of CNCF, which you know, Cloud Native Foundation under Linux Foundation. Right now, I'm a board alternate. I'm still on the board. And I think it's really good time for me to transition to Centaurus because I'm very excited about the Centaurus project because I think that the cloud infrastructure is over 10 years old. The open source version of cloud infrastructure is over 10 years old. It is time that we need to introduce new technologies to this area. And I've talked to a lot of users, especially the users who are currently using, other solutions right now. They all think that they need more scalability, they need more performance, they need more interoperability to meet the needs of 5G, AI era. So I'm very excited to be part of this project. My day job is I work for Future Way. I'm responsible for Future Way's open source operations, ensuring that all of our open source projects are operated according to compliance and also with open source best practice. Very happy to meet everybody here. Thank you.
Okay, I can do next. Hi everyone, my name is Xiaoning. I'm based in Seattle, together with Dr. Xiong. I also from the FutureWay Cloud Lab. In Cloud Lab, we have several teams. We have computing, networking, storage, AI. I'm leading the computing and networking team. We are basically working on cloud infrastructure. In the past 2 years, my teams have been working on Arctos and Mesa, and then we group together and become the Centaurus. This is a little about the background and our work. I have been in FutureWay for 5 years. Before joining FutureWay, I worked for Microsoft. This is a little bit of background about myself. I'm really happy to be working on this project and looking forward to work with everybody.
So I can briefly go. So yeah, this is Deepak Wej. I'm part of the Cloud Lab. I work with Xiaoning, Ying and Annie and everybody here. So I've been here at FutureWay for a while now, actually, for 7-8 years now. So yeah, so I've been involved with the cloud computing for a long time, actually. So way back in 2010, when I was part of the I was IEEE chair actually for one of the cloud initiative. And prior to that, I worked on a lot of enterprise software companies, Oracle, Siebel, and bunch of startups, and pretty much in Silicon Valley all this time. And yeah, so we're really excited about this project actually. So I think we have a great opportunity, and the fact that the whole landscape, application landscape, is changing in front of our eyes. Everything application is becoming AI aware. So there are a lot of opportunities for us to be able to enable that environment as part of this platform. So I think I mean, at least I'm really looking forward to this, the open source project.
Hey, Deepak, sorry, you worked for Siebel before?
Yeah. I was a Siebel for a long time, actually. So that's one of the things that, yeah, I wanted to mention, that even Tom Siebel just started a startup, actually, a company called C3. And they are positioning their CRM, they call it AI CRM, actually, and their valuation is skyrocketed. It's like $27 billion valuation, some ridiculous amount. So what I'm saying is, the reason I bring this up is because everything is all AI now, basically. So I think so the work, that's one of the challenge the cloud infrastructure has, and which I think Xiaoning is going to talk about that actually greatly.
Yeah, back on AT&T, I was there when we implement the Siebel for the AT&T CRM, and quite a journey. That's the early stage of Siebel, I think, but quite a journey there.
Yeah.
Okay, I can go next. Hi, everybody. My name is Shahram Dustar. I'm a professor of computer science at Technical University in Vienna, in Austria, in Europe. And well, I'm working in distributed systems, pretty much in cloud computing, service-oriented systems, and more recently, meaning like 5, 6 or something years, in the area of edge computing, Internet of Things, and also kind of obsessed with the principle of elasticity. This is also how I got to work with Ying and Deepak and Xiaoning. We have a project with FutureWay, which is super exciting. And now more recently, I'm looking into bringing this principle of building service level objectives and agreements to the world of elasticity in this whole new continuum of systems, which range from IoT sensors over the edge via fog to the cloud, basically looking at it from a whole holistic ecosystem perspective. So, and I'm very excited to be part of this Centaurus project. Thanks very much.
I can go next now, just to reuse the context of Professor Dustar, because I'm also from Vienna, the same Europe, and also working on the same project with the Future Way for how long now? A year, and it's been really a lot of fun. And now it's really kind of enjoyable that to see that this is growing to a whole different level, and Centaurus is becoming part of Linux Foundation. It's really a privilege for me to be able to be on the committee and to be able to cooperate and collaborate with you guys. So briefly, my background, been dealing with cloud computing for the past, I think something like 8-10 years. Did a PhD in that area, also overlapping with the edge computing and IoT. So basically trying to combine cloud computing and Internet of Things and edge computing. And lately I've started my own company. So I co-founded a company with actually a colleague of mine from TU Vienna, where I used to work before. And yeah, that's, I think, a little bit about myself. And again, really super excited to be part of this team and looking forward to the future here. Thank you.
Prashant, you are on mute.
You're on mute.
All right. Hi, I'm Prashant. I hope everybody can see me. I don't know how my background is right now. So today is a Republican Day in India. And just to give my background is I'm a founder and CEO of Click to Cloud, INC. And I have 2 successful exits before this. One was a product that everybody knows, HP Helion, that we built with Eric Ruder and few other people in back in the earlier days. And before that, I had a company called Argent Solutions, which got acquired by Persistent System. So this is my 3rd venture. And when we met with Dr. Shao and Annie about this project, I got super excited because I believe this technology is forward-looking, very exciting in terms of the ability to do like cloud native computing and 5G cloud kind of concept. So I feel like Click to Cloud is already contributing towards it from the beginning, and the team is very engaged, and we see a lot of future in coming days to it. And to add the last sentence, I also worked in Microsoft almost for 8 to 10 years, from Microsoft licensing to different Windows Genuine Advantage team, where I handled many projects for Microsoft. So that's my background. Very excited to be part of this team.
Great, thanks.
Hi, this is Sanil. You are able to hear me, and hope you can see me.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm also from India, joining from Bangalore. I'm part of Soda Foundation, part of the TOC, and leading the architecture work group and heading the engineering part of the Soda Foundation projects as of now, last 2 years. And it's very happy to see, I think most of you, I think Dr. Ying, Shinong, Prashant, Deepak, to some extent Anilai also. And I think we work together. One or the other way we connected in the past. I think it's really nice to meet you again and catch up. So before the Soda Foundation is basically working on an open data framework from Linux Foundation, something similar to Centaurus. And probably I will be the novice in this group about this project. So before that, I've been working with open source quite some time, be part of the advisory board of Yocto project when it was incubated. And then we incubated KubeEdge in edge computing in CNCF, and now it is in incubating state. And also worked on distributed computing projects like Amino and cloud projects. That's where some of you work with us. So it's very nice and exciting to be part of this project, and always open source and technology is close to our heart. Yeah, thanks for getting me here, and yeah, looking forward. Thank you so much.
So Nikita, you're next.
All right. just to know exactly how it goes. So good morning, everybody. My name is Nikita Ivanov. I'm a CTO and founder of a company called Great Gain Systems. The company is behind Apache Ignite, one of the top projects in Apache Software Foundation. I'm also involved with a few other projects in Apache Software Foundation. So hopefully I can bring some of the experience of many years in yet another open source community. Apache is a quite large community, as you probably most of you know. This is the home for most of data processing, open source software, as we know it today. Actually, thinking about Deepak and I, we met, when Huawei actually was an investor in my company, Great Gain Systems, and Deepak was on the board, and that's how we met many years ago. So I'm really excited about this project in many different aspects. I think it's long overdue of having something like Centaurus and be an open source arena, and really challenging the current status quo with the Kubernetes and whatnot. Technology has been developed decades ago, quite literally, and kind of overcome all of these limitations and whatnot. So really excited, and we already had some experience using Apache Ignite in replacement HCD and in the Kubernetes, and with some decent results. So overall, again, just like everybody else, I'm excited to be in this project. Excited to see what's going to happen in the next 12, 18 months. So let's go and we'll see. Located here in Silicon Valley. So welcome, everybody.
Great, thanks. Moni, you're the last one.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Moni, and I'm the PM for Cloud Lab, and I work with Dr. Xiong and Xiaoning, Deepak, and Annie, and everyone here. So I'll be helping with the logistic of the TSC meeting going forward. So feel free to send me any questions. And I'm very excited to be a part of this project, and like everyone else, and welcome everyone. Dr. Xiong. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and start it again. Welcome everyone. Looking forward to work with all of you closely. Hopefully, make it the Centaurus, realize the vision of the Centaurus in the growing the ecosystems. So here is the agenda for today. I know we have only 1 hour, so time a little bit tight. So we're gonna go through some of the project overviews. Basically, discuss the logistic here and the how we're governing the project itself. And the mission today is confirm the members nominations and the chair nomination for the TSC, the Technical Steering Committee. Today, this meeting is the first TSC meetings. And then we'll talk about, Xiaoning will give some Centaurus project updates. And currently we have 2 projects on the Centaurus umbrella project, which is Arctos Compute, and the MISA, which is the networking project. But we are hoping that we have more projects join the Centaurus, like storage, like Edge, maybe AI. So we can talk about that. And then maybe if we have time, we can discuss a little bit how the Centaurus, how we do outreach and the marketing, and then any ideas we can collect. I don't think we may not have time in more detail on this, but we can get some of the volunteers a plan to go. That would be great. So let's move on. Next page. So Centaurus project, I can just run quickly. As you know, the right before, I think right before the Christmas last year, they become an official Linux Foundation project, and they have a blog. Everyone has know that. So it's officially a Linux Foundation project. So the meeting we have here, it's a public meeting where we recorded. We have many minutes, and then we're published. And then of course, Linux Foundations have access to it. And we do have a Slack channel created for the Centaurus project, and this is a Slack. I think this is a Slack channel that created specifically for Centaurus on non-technical communication, like meetings, logistics, any information sharing and or notification that can use this Slack channel. Technically, we have everybody know we have a Slack channel for the actors, and we'll have a Slack channel for the visa. So in technical, can go still using that Slack channel. Governing board discussions, if I understand it correct, because this is a Linux Foundation project, but not a board, not a foundation. So we don't have a board for this project, but we still need a group that to discuss non-technical issues like strategy, direction, users group, and outreach, marketing, and all logistics. That's all non-technical issues. So we are actually maybe stop here to see anybody has a suggestion for that. Any volunteer want to be leading this group? We call, I don't know, we call a governing group, whatever it is, because we do have a go forward. We do have a non-technical discussion going on here, yeah, for the project.
I think what we can do is we're gonna need an outreach committee to help us build up the ecosystem, and we need a marketing committee to talk about marketing issues. But as far as other stuff, strategy, we can just have project things. We can't use the word board because we don't have a board, and if we want to have a board, then we there's some legal documents we have to sign under Linux Foundation's guidance. So at this point, we can just have project discussion or overall project discussion, something like that. And but the committees that will really need to do the work is the outreach committee and marketing committee. And I think outreach committee will cover the users, right? And marketing committee will cover the marketing issues, and overall strategy and direction and technical strategy should come from a TSC, this forum, and that's a technical strategy and direction. So that I think we can cover by these three committees right now. And unless you want to have another overall, we can have an overall project group for anybody who's interested to find out about, what's going on with the project. So generally there's a project overall mailing list for anybody to participate. But for the people who are really like going out doing the work is the two committees. One is the marketing committee, the other one is outreach committee.
Okay, any other feedback, suggestions? I know that we cannot use on board, but we still need a group or some form of communication that can discuss some of outreach and marketing group, outreach group, or user group, maybe some of the non-technical discussion.
We can just call it the project discussion.
Project discussion.
Yeah, something like that. Overall project discussion. Yeah.
Okay. Any other ideas, suggestions on this?
One quick question about this, Dr. Shao, that when we say strategy and directions, so how is it different than the technical strategy and the direction part of it? Like, I just want to understand a little bit more.
Yeah, actually, I put in there without much thinking there. Thanks for that. What I put here means non-technical strategy, non-technical directions. I don't know if there's any non-technical direction, but strategy for how to grow the community, strategy how to get marketing there, the other sense, but all non-technical stuff. Yeah.
Got it.
I know
so it's more
will be discussed and decide by the TSC meeting, TSC committees, but here's just for non-technical stuff.
It's kind of more like an overall governing entity.
Yeah.
We probably can call it a project governing group. It's more like accurate.
Yeah, I mean, so I think for Prashant and Nikita and Soda Foundation folks, actually, so feel free to have your, customers or your ecosystem get involved in that. Actually, that'd be really good, because once the end user and customer and the companies get involved, a lot of use cases will come up, and that's how this project will evolve. So you can, so feel free to involve your customers or your user base ecosystem, as part of
That's
this.
a fantastic idea, Deepak.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think Annie is a good person for the outreach committee and the marketing areas. So we
Yes.
have Rupal from our team also. She can part of that and they can sort of like lead that. But definitely we can bring some customers who can be part of this ecosystem.
So Nikita, feel free to have somebody from your marketing or whoever you think you want to get involved in this. That'd be great.
Yeah, so Dr. Schultz, I was just thinking, so for overall project governing strategy meeting or group, we can do that. And then the people who are, participating in the outreach committee and marketing committee can participate in that group. Yeah, the thing is, want to avoid having too many meetings, but at the same time, we need to make sure we cover our bases. So I think, yeah, it's good to have overall project strategy group. And then under that group, we have two committees, right? One is user committee, one is marketing committee, one is outreach committee. And in the future, if we want, we can even have a user committee if you want to focus on users, like user cases, use cases, user requirements. Yeah, that's also possible.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
actually, what I mean is here is we're probably not able to discuss all this, what this group is, what the we focus on. But here we just mentioned that, and we need a way to have a communication for governor, not for governor, for the project governing. I think again, it's not for non-technical stuff. So and then this group can go off. Can go off setting the strategy and the groups, how many groups within that project. So I think the group can do that. So I think here we're just looking for volunteers to see who want to be the group discussions, who want to contribute. I know a lot of you guys companies has a business groups that can involve that. I think Prashant just mentioned a little bit that. So I will recommend this if everyone agree that from virtual side, Annie will be maybe can volunteer to lead that this
Sure.
governing project, whatever the governing project governing group for Centaurus, and then we can has everybody. You can just get together with everybody that interested in this and discuss and see how we're going forward with that. It's a plan. I don't think we'll have time to discuss what the group it is, but let's have people and go off to discuss this. And then if you're okay, Annie, I will recommend you to the group. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I can host this forum. Yeah.
Okay, that'd be great. Any other suggestions, feedback?
I think that's a good start. I think Annie also mentioned about this governing part. I think as you mentioned, maybe this is an independent project, so governing board is not there. That project group can be there, and Annie can then come up with just a governance structure where user group, marketing, and TSC, and then the common meeting can be representatives from each of this group, so that we can go ahead with the strategies and the non-technical stuff.
Okay.
And then we can get the volunteers through the current members of TSC from their foundations or organizations.
Yeah. From what I heard, we have at least has two people now here. Prashant has from Kitty Cloud. Prashant just mentioned that Repo she can also help on this. So Repo and Annie will work together to form this kind of group, and then start to form some of the subgroup, I think, and the plan for that.
Yeah, so the way I like to do this is because right now the hierarchy is TSC is because we don't have a board. I mean, we can explore having a board later, but having a board is more complicated because then there's also budget and all that kind of things that's involved, right? So I think
we're not there yet. Yes,
we're not there yet. So since the project is very small, that's why we don't have a board. I just want to explain to the people, the group here. So, but we do still need to have, a group to discuss non-technical strategy direction and then outreach and marketing, that kind of stuff, non-technical stuff. So it's still important to have this group. So I would still like to urge all the member companies send a representative because, like for example, it would be great to do some events in Europe, right? I mean, and KubeCon Europe, we can do something at KubeCon Europe, and then Centaurus can be a sponsor, and then people in Europe can give us feedback, can give this, group of people feedback, or we can do something in Asia Pac in India. So it'd be good to have people who are in India to give us feedback. So even though it's not a technical forum, but I would still like to encourage, all these member companies to send representative and to participate. And we'll try to make this forum as infrequent as possible. I know we all have a lot of meetings, and I'll also make sure that the meeting minutes go out to everybody. So, at least, even if you don't have time to participate, what's coming up, what kind of marketing events we're doing, what kind of outreach, initiatives we're doing. And still, we still need your, every member company's support to grow our ecosystem. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, great. Annie, it sounds like you have a lot of ideas, which is good. So you can go offline with, contact all the member companies here, and with rapport together, we can come up with a plan for at least for this year, for the Centaurus project. Yeah, that'd be good.
Sounds good.
Okay, if everybody okay with that, no, we will move on to next page. So next page, this is our main sense today, this meeting, since it's a TSC meeting. When the project launched officially from Linux Foundation, I'm the acting chair of TSC. So I'll play my role here today. But going forward, this is a TSC role and responsibility. This is very actually, in fact, standard one for many of the open source project. Some projects called TOC, Technical Oversight Committees, some called TSC, Steer Committees. And so I'm not going to go through this. Everybody probably already understand this. Many maintain technical visions and for Centaurus community in Atlanta project and with the vision and address some of the issues, technical issues, technical gaps, and for the Centaurus projects. And next page. So we have this is all the TSC members nominees. We have 2 from Futureway. We're thinking about getting the odds number, so we come with 7. 2 from Futureway, which is T-Pack and Xiaoning, and then 1 from Green Gain and Nikita here. 1 from Collector Club, Persian is here, and then 1 from Soda Foundations, Sania is here, and then 1 from T.O. Wayne and Professor Drusta is here, and then for the event, it's a star company here in New York. Stefan is here. So that's our current nominees. And for the chair, I sent out the email last week to see if there any other nominee for the TSC chair. Right now we have 1 Xiaoning. Xiaoning has already have talked to you individually, and he is the called creator of Octos project, Misa project. So he's the creator of that. In terms from technical perspective, he's the founder of these 2 projects. So that's why we nominate him to be the chair. And again, Moni will be the TSC secretary. We'll have 1 nominee. We'll actually welcome other nominees if you want to. So this is the TSC members nominees, including chairs, technical members, and the secretary. So we come down to voting. Any suggestions? We just want to confirm this and to become official. So going after that, then the members and chairs will play their role going forward with TSC meetings.
I agree, Ying, what you said. I think that's a very good proposal.
Okay, thanks. Any other suggestions, comments, feedback?
I think this is good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is good. Actually, Dr. Shawning is the right person because, as you said, he is the inventor of Arctos and Mizar. And I see like really great work from his team and contributions over there. So definitely he deserves that thing.
Thank you, Purja. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So sorry, I'm more of a, compliance person. So I want to make sure, we're doing this official way. So it looks like, right, 3, 4, 5, we have 7 TSC representatives, right? And then now we need to elect the TSC chair. So only these 7 people have voting right to elect the TSC chair. I just want to make that clear. So so we need to ask these 7 people, anybody who since we only have 1 nominee, and so there's no point to really vote, but we like to ask if there's any objection. If no objection, then it's passed, like TSC chair will be Xiaoning. So just want to ask the 7 representatives if there's any objection.
No objection from me.
Be the chair.
No objection from me. Yeah.
Same here, no objection, Deepa.
Oh,
No
okay.
objection, Stefan, if we're voting now.
Perfect. So motion passed. So TSC chair, Xiaoning, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
everyone.
Shani.
Congratulations.
I think we are confirmed. All the members confirmed. Chair confirmed. I think from my perspective, if you are not no objections here, but if you do have concerned questions, do not the whole team knows. And I think we, as Annie say, we since it's now official Linux Foundation, we want to operate on the open source spiritual and open source principles in open discussions. So any concerns, we just let the whole team knows. So right now we have a former TSC members and chairs and the secretaries.
One more thing, like Dr. Shao, I don't see your name on the TSC members.
Yeah, the Deepak and Shalin has been involved a lot with technically with Centaurus, and also has other kind of responsibility in other projects. This year I will probably also focus on other projects too. So my time is a little bit limit, but whatever that help needed me help from Centaurus, I will definitely help. That's no issue at all. And then I also probably be part of the project governing group, whatever we call it, to help how we grow the ecosystems, the communities, and the marketing group outreach. So I can help on that. And so especially on the conference side, what the conference with sponsors and which conference we want to give a talk. So all those the non-technical, I can help on that.
Yeah, and I also want to explain why, another reason that Dr. Shong is not on the TSC, because we want to make sure we have a, pretty good balance of diversity. We don't want to have one company has a lot more people than other companies, so, that's why FutureWay's already got 2, that's all, I mean, anybody any other organization, if you want to contribute more TSC, you're welcome, but we want to make sure that there's a good balance there.
Yeah.
No, I agree, Annie. You are a true open source star. You already got my point. Thanks. But I think Dr. Shao is like also very important person for this project. That's why I asked why his name is not there.
Yeah, we'll make sure Dr. Shong comes to our overall project governing discussion group.
Absolutely. Makes sense.
Yeah, I can definitely in the group can help this project. Again, we want to make sure this is real, open source project, open communities, and then of everybody. And then I think the chair also, the TSA can discuss themselves. I think the TSA members, you guys can actually go off to decide the terms for chair. Could be year, 2 year, it doesn't matter. It's all up to you guys now for how to technically set the directions for the Centaurus.
I'm normally typically very vocal about open source and very sort of like that. And I see Annie is like always always taking that seat over here. So I'm very happy about that. But great.
Yeah.
I think the TSC secretary is also good. Mengning Zhang is already doing all the meetings and everything for different technical groups. So looks like a good option too.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we're doing this project, because now it is a Linux Foundation project, and we need to operate this project as a pure, open source project. So everything we do has to follow the, open principle, right? Open design, open collaboration, open communication. That means everything we do has to be done in an open way, and everything we do has to be documented, and collaboration, and any discussion, whether it's very controversial discussion or bad or constructive discussion. I mean, we want to do everything open way. That's the spirit of open source.
I agree.
Yeah, agree.
Annie, yeah, I agree to what you discussed now. I have just one thought. Maybe you can check the feasibility that usually such kind of projects, we also could have something like a project advisors. Usually, yeah. So maybe Dr. Ng can be a project advisor, and we can also invite some senior people from Linux Foundation. So that could be a good idea to guide us in the project.
That's awesome. Actually, yeah, we should look into that in our overall project discussion. Having an advisory board, it is possible to have an advisory board. Yeah.
That's a good idea. I actually was thinking about this. Is you might have people from Linux Foundation, right, join the advanced group or whatever the group will have.
Perfect. Yeah.
For project.
That's great. Yeah. Okay. I'll take that action item. I'll look into that. Yeah. And then also, so for the overall project discussion group, we can always update this TSC, body, right, to make sure that all the TSC members are aware of what's going on in there on the non-technical side.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. Okay, I think if I have no objection, I think that's it. That's for the TSC for Centaurus. Thanks again for everyone try to be part of the TSC, and looking forward for your contributions technically and in any technical aspect. So let's move on. Thanks again for everybody. So this is I think this is for the TSC meeting format time frequency. I think we'll probably want to leave this to TSC. Maybe we can decide today, and has at least a plan today. And then when you TSC members go off, have meetings, and then they can suggest different time, different format or frequencies. So
one more question, Dr. Shao, I have is like if we want to bring few more members as a TSC, like customer partners or some other people who are interested in the telecom, for example, OTC or Deutsche Telekom or other people from Germany and other locations. Will that be okay to bring it to the next meeting, like list of people who could be potentially there? As Annie was suggesting, like Sunil being part of Soda and Huawei both is one option here, but I think other customers can also come from different angle like OTC or maybe from Telefonica or other angles. So will the board will be open to add more TSC members?
I think what would be good is the TSC. Okay, I'm just using the other projects I was involved in, how they do the best practice. So the TSC needs to have a charter, right? You need to decide, the process to welcome or to qualify a new TSC member, right? Mm-hmm. So, but I mean, I'm sure at this point, the more users, companies we have, the better, I think, because that's how we can make this project successful. But I do think there should be some official process for a TSC member to vote to say, okay, yeah, for example, Orange is interested in participating in this project. Are we gonna, what's the qualification process? And sometimes it's just a process. It doesn't have to be very difficult. It should be like, oh yeah, okay, they have to show their intent, why they're interested, and then okay, now they are part of this project. So it is definitely we need to have a process for that. And it's not, the goal is not to make it a barrier, but it's more of just, from a project governance standpoint, we need to have a process to have the existing TSC vote for that.
Would you recommend that process, like voting or whatever it could be like? Because mostly these will be the customer or consumers or maybe the technical expert in this area, right? So that's where I was thinking.
We can have I think what I suggest is, we can look at other projects, and then I can go get the charter verbiage, and then we can, modify according to, what this TSC body wants, right? And then you vote for it, saying this is the process to welcome a new member company. And then we just create that process and have this body vote for it. And then once that's done, then we should, and that's part of our outreach. We go out and recruit all these other member companies, and then they all have to go through this, enrollment process.
Yeah, I think the first thing the TSC probably need to do is we define our charter.
Right.
And the charter should include this process, like how we accept the new members, how we operate, how we vote, basically the basic rules and the process. Then the TSC can follow the charter to operate, right?
Yeah, sounds like this is a topic for your first.
Yeah, we can prepare. We can prepare a charter draft based on the best practice from other projects, and then we send out earlier in advance to all TSC members for review and approval. Then we can approve in the next meeting. We can do everything based on that.
But even otherwise, actually, so to answer your question, Prashant, this is a public meeting actually. So this is not just for TSC members. So just like CNCF, anybody can join this meeting actually. So the only thing is TSC members, they have voting rights, but
they have the voting rights. Only the TSC member vote.
Yeah, but we want to, our goal is to grow our ecosystem, right? I mean, anybody can join, can dial in, anybody, everywhere in the world can dial in, right? But we do want to recruit all these, users to come be part of the TSC, because if they're part of TSC, then they can help us grow the ecosystem because they have more, more skin in the game, right?
Yeah, but I think depends on their intention. If they are only one part of the ecosystem, maybe they can join this outreach group or other user groups. Only if they really want to contribute on the technology side and want to steer in technology direction, right? We don't want to make everybody part of the TSC. Then
exactly. So this is what charter is about, right? You guys define what's the qualification to be part of TSC.
And what the TSC should do, how they should do it, what's the process, all this thing. We don't want to make the process heavy, but we do want to have a clear framework so the committee can operate.
Yeah, one piece of advice I can give it to you guys, coming from, this is Nikita Ivanov from Apache World, is to, I understand that, there's this very typical kind of typical mindset when the commercial companies setting out open source project. There is this default drive to put some processes, committees, and kind of a lot of necessary, not in a derogatory way, but necessary bureaucracies. Try to limit this urge to put processes around it. I would advise to make it as open and as free initially as possible. You'll have time when it becomes messy and unmanageable to kind of correct this later. But you'll be surprised how many people are really fickle about these details. I mean, CNCF generally has a lot more heavyweight process than Apache. Apache is pretty much, kind of Wild West in many ways. But even in the Apache Software Foundation, people frown upon processes and bureaucracies and whatnot. You'll be surprised how sometimes small things deter people from joining, because obviously it's everybody's free time. Nobody get paid. It's just basically, it's really in the volunteering work. And the last thing people need when they donate the time is some kind of framework or whatnot. You have to have a minimal, of course. You have to have technical committee and some basic voting rights so that you can control the project. Maybe even internally can have it. But again, I would advise, outward externally to try to minimize that. Yeah. And It's, coming from, I've seen, I'm on the board of two projects and as a founder in the Apache, and I've seen this firsthand.
Nikita, I think that's a very good point that you have brought it up, because what I have seen in some other things, like some employees of the companies become part of many group and they try to direct like every single thing. And then it doesn't make any sense of like being an open source community. And I hate that, because ultimately open source is all about ensuring that people have contributions, people voices have been heard. Otherwise they become chair in all the 30 communities, and then they start basically doing the things as they wish. Then that does not remain as a community. Yeah,
and it'll come to this, by the way. If you look at successful projects, whether it's Hadoop and Spark or Kafka in Apache Software Foundation, they reach the point where it becomes extremely massive. There's hundreds of people. It's and then you need to have some structure, but that comes out of necessity, and the community accepts that, because the community itself is suffering from a lack of governance at this point. But it's sort of a putting the horse in front of
you need to have critical mass first, and then can I have all these
exactly
processes around it.
I think we should make the process as lightweight as possible.
I think great. You're very good, Nikita. Very good suggestion. Very good idea. Comments. Because I was involved in the Safe TOC at the beginning, back to 2015, and then I see the growth. I think I agree. It's very good comments that we agree. We'll make the at the beginning, at least right at this stage, make it the as free, as simple, as open as possible. So we can join and contribute and understand this project. Definitely.
Yeah, and a sort of a colorful point to this is that I think in initial stage, we're not going to have many users at this point. There's nothing to use yet. So the real part of the community, or real members of community, will be the developers. And sometimes it could be individual developers, could be members of companies that are in the TCS and whatnot. So just a piece of advice that initially I would concentrate our efforts, in outreach and marketing, which is initially probably going to be almost the same thing, is to really outreach and attract as many developer types into the project. And that's a little bit different, the way you market and talk and and message to the developers is different from users, especially for a product like Centaurus, that likely have very different audiences where it's users and the developers. So that's kind of my piece of advice, because again, it's just a matter of kind of sequencing. Right now there's nothing to use, so we have to build something to be used, and we need to basically get as much developer feedback, developer participation into it. So that's another kind of thought.
So what I can do in the next meeting, I can share some experts that I know who can be really using this project, because when I met with Dr. Shao and Annie about this thing, I was like mind blown with this concept. And I'm very passionate about this whole cloud native 5G kind of technology that is coming up front. And we believe that there are true users who can be part and who can really contribute to it. As you said, Nikita, like in the beginning, we should be very open, and we should like get the right set of experts. So that it's more about contribution rather than basically giving too much power to certain individuals. Because this is an open source community, and open source community thrives when everybody feels that they are part of this ecosystem and it's not governed by one or two individuals. So
it's a good point, but you'll be surprised that there's a very delicate balance. Nobody likes actually Wild West, and that's if you look at the history of Hadoop and some of the big projects in Apache, people decry the situation where there's like half a thousand developers and nobody knows what everybody else is doing. That's not the right approach. So you have to have leaders, and leaders have to be vocal and they have to be known. I mostly meant processes. Don't put, at least initially, too much emphasis on the bureaucracy, committees, meetings, and whatnot. Just keep it as flexible as possible. Another basically tidbit of experience is that probably the best way to attract developers is to do is to do a bunch of meetups and bunch of small, local presentations everywhere. Hopefully, we're now in the COVID area, era. We don't have to travel anywhere. We can do all of that, just literally just we do right now through Zoom. And in 2 projects that I was involved very, heavily in Apache, that was a boon. Like in Apache Ignite, we were able to grow by leaps and bounds by literally just doing a bunch of meetups and bunch of presentation about, because that's the way people learn about new project.
Right.
There's literally, it's a very economical way. Many of us can do it, especially those that are actually involved in from FutureWave side of things, can do very interesting technical presentations. And that's a very good coverage. Presentations get recorded, at least we should get recorded. We should have a YouTube channel, which is the primary channel, marketing channel today for learning anything. And that has, halo effect. We do the presentations, we record them on YouTube, we put them on YouTube, they're searchable, they're available. And over a short period of time, we can, 6 months, we can develop the library of these presentations, and have a much better coverage. It is, you have to realize that we're competing for the time. There is a hundreds, if not thousands, of open source projects.
Yeah.
And we always, I always think that my projects are the most important ones, obviously. And then I realized that there's like everybody else thinks the same way. And everybody is competing.
That's reality. Yes.
Yeah. So everybody's competing for the same, brilliant people who are passionate and, participate in communities. So we have to make an effort. This is not, this is not one of those situations where we just, saying, hey, Centaurus, and wait everybody to join. You'll be surprised. You have to make an effort, you have to get people excited. I believe there's plenty of excitement in this project. I think it's, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's massively overdue for something like this to appear in an open source arena, not Google, not Amazon driven, not VM driven, where driven. So there's a plenty of being excited here. And we just need to make this, concerted effort to get this message out.
Yeah. We just need to talk. We just need to go out and talk, and the project itself. Yeah.
I agree. I would say basically almost the first order of of action is to really, probably for you guys out of FutureWave, you're most closely related to the technical side of this right now, is to really start talking about it. And obviously, many of us can help, but you guys are closest at this point, and has best, the most technical acumen as far as projects concerned. So,
but one of the opportunity I see is actually not just us doing the meetups, but presentation, obviously we'll do that, but it'll be much more powerful if we collaborate with you. For example, you have your own ecosystem, for example, GridGain or,
Sure, yeah. That's what I meant.
Both, collaboratively do it, and that will have more effect that way.
Yes, Deepak, I think that's
a very good point. Neutral then,
Yeah. The cross branding is a new norm these days. I think all the related open source projects, the foundations, they work together to build the ecosystem. And that's a good point, I think.
Because I see a lot of opportunity in data management. The Sunil Leo Soda Group, right? There are a lot of companies. I'm pretty sure they must be looking for this kind of a platform. The private cloud, Amazon scale private cloud, and GridGain, financial services and telecom and all that. I mean, this is a great opportunity.
Okay. Well, I have to control from time perspective. We actually our 3 minutes, and we still have some items. But just quickly, thanks for the advice. I think it's very good. I think there's a lot of work waiting for us to do, and especially for the TSC, for all you guys, a lot of this, and a lot of work to do to grow the ecosystems. And also to grow not only the ecosystem, but also the robustness of the project itself. Okay, I think again at the time, I think the next item is project update. But since this time is where our little bit time, if everybody has a couple few more minutes, I think Xiaoning can talk about quickly the planning. And but again, this is a draft. I remember this is a draft, and this you guys can go to discussing what's added, what is missing, what need to be added. So everybody has a few more minutes that Xiaoning can go through this.
Hi, Moni. I just sent you an updated version. Do you mind sharing my updated one?
You can
Or
share.
you want me to share?
Mhm.
Maybe I can share.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, because this is for this first meeting, make sure the time, if anyone that has other obligation need to go, I think that's fine, I think. And then that's the whatever Shawnee gonna talk about will be shared anyway, right? Will be open, will be shared.
Exactly, yeah. All information here is public and will be public accessible. Because we already run over time, so I will try to be quick. This is just a brief update of the projects, where we are, and what's the plan for the new year. So I will have 3 parts. First, just give a brief overview of these projects. I know some members are probably not involved in the projects, are not in early stage, so this will help them understand the overall picture. And then is our current status, and then is some thinking for the tech direction in the new year. The first part for the project overview, just for the information some members that don't know, Centaurus is an overall umbrella project for cloud native infrastructure in the age of AI 5G age. It mainly includes 3 projects. One is called Actos, that's for compute. The other one is Mesa for the cloud networking. These 2 are the major component projects. We also have a 3rd one called Dashboard. That's the portal. The portal is for both Actos and Mesa. So user can manage all these compute and network elements, resources in an intuitive way. These are the 3 major component projects. In addition to that, we have several collaboration projects or side projects. They are still not officially part of the Centaurus project, but can potentially become them. The CLO aware cloud, which we are among feature weight until when we event, and the scalable, strong, consistent data store, that's among feature weight and great gain. And feature weight also had a global schedule side project. So this are overview of all the projects related to Centaurus project. For the status, last year we have 4 to 5 releases for Actos and Mesa. We basically follow a cadence of seasonal release, every 3 months a release. But depending on the different features, some features probably will take a longer time, some features will take a short time. So it's just roughly every 3 months, but it's not exactly every 3 months. All the releases and the main features, you can check on GitHub. There is a page for include all the releases, release history. And for each release, there's the release notes, which will list all the new features and the bug fixes in that release. Only for dashboard, we don't have release yet. We finished some initial features for the Actos support, but we don't have elements for Mesa yet in the portal. So we haven't have the release yet. We are looking forward to have the release of dashboard this year. In terms of new, the key features that finished. For Actos, we finished the unified VM and the container orchestration. Because Actos is evolved on Kubernetes, but the Kubernetes only have the container support. We added the built-in VM support. This starts from API to the unified scheduling, to the unified runtime, and also the VM lifecycle event support. Because VM has different lifecycle events, like a suspend or reboot something. We also have the vertical scaling. This feature has been upstreamed to Kubernetes. Also, we finished the multi-tenancy improvements because Kubernetes doesn't have multi-tenancy. So we added a built-in multi-tenancy model, a strong multi-tenancy model implementation. And we greatly improved the scalability. We implemented a partition-based architecture, and it already passed the 20K test for of the benchmark test. The original Kubernetes can only pass 5K or 10K, but now we already passed the 20K, and we are trying more a large scale with this scale out architecture. For Mesa, we implemented the basic architecture and support the basic virtual network model, including VPC, subnet, endpoints. We also implemented some advanced features like a direct path, and that's performance optimization. And also we have scale endpoint and the Kubernetes network policy support. For dashboard, as I just mentioned, we just implemented some features to support Actors, but not for Mesa yet. The most interesting part probably is planning the technical direction for this year. This is also we want to get the feedbacks from our TSC members and other participants. In the new year, so far we're thinking about the three things. One is that we continue to enhance the base platform. By base platform, we mean this basic or fundamental feature that a large cloud infrastructure platform should have. That's also the thing that we were doing in the past year. And we also plan to start two new directions. One is for AI, one is for edge. So I will spend several minutes here. For the base platform, we will continue to increase scalability to support the public cloud scale. And then we also add missing network features in Mesa and do some hardware offloading, performance research. And we enhance runtime and the portal. So for this part, it's basically continue our efforts in last year. But we will start two new areas. One is for support for AI and edge. The other one is edge. For AI, when we talk about system and AI, there are usually two directions. One is the system for AI. The other one is AI for system. This year, from engineering perspective, we are mostly focusing on system for AI. We are trying to solve two problems that we heard from not our customers and the partners. One is that GPU utilization. In some research papers, it mentioned that about 1/3 of GPUs in production, they have an average utilization less than 20%. We also have similar data from some other customers. So one key part is that we want to improve the GPU utilization. The other part is that we want to optimize the distributed training or just the training performance, so that machine learning training can have less waiting time and shorter duration time. For these two key pieces, we will do GPU sharing and GPU scheduling improvements so that multiple jobs can share a GPU. We already did some work 1 or 2 years ago to support some machine learning jobs. This year, we plan to do more comprehensive job and cover all these training jobs. And for the training, we will research some new scheduling algorithm to reduce the average job waiting time. And also we try to implement elastic training that will support a training job to dynamically scale in or scale out. So when there are extra GPUs available, they can leverage this extra available GPU to make the training time shorter. In terms of AI system for system, we will continue the project that we work with TUN on the machine learning driven auto scaling and SLO. In addition to that, we will try to start research on the machine learning driven job profiling and job scheduling. This is but so far these are mainly for research purpose. We will see what part can be landed in the production. For the edge, we are planning to implement the Actors agent and Mesa agent on edge sites. So these edge agents will be lightweight agents and also support some like offline situations that are common in the edge computing. And also we will optimize our scheduling algorithm. So if our cluster is across cloud data centers and the edge sites, how we can do this edge-aware scheduling to dynamically offloading some services to edge sites based on the latency and the customer requirements, and how to optimize scheduling algorithm to support this affinity and anti-affinity requirements. Because for some edge sites, their size are very small, it's not easy for them to meet these requirements. And also we have, as I mentioned, we have a side project called Global Scheduler. That's also edge related. And we have another open source project called KubeEdge. We are thinking how we can integrate with them. These are all the things I want to share for the past year, what we do under the planning for this year. And we also want to make sure we are executing in a more organized way. So we are planning to have some SIGs to align with tech directions. For example, we probably have scalability SIGs, scheduling SIGs, networking SIGs, edge, probably UI. It depends on how we can organize people more efficiently to move faster and to align with the tech directions. These are just some ideas. That's all from my side. Due to time reason, I don't have enough time to explain everything. But later on, I think we will have an email group for the TSC, and also we can have all detailed discussion on emails if we need it.
Any plans for the Anthos kind of project, like migration strategies from OpenStack to Centaurus?
So far we don't have a concrete plan on this, but if we have some use cases or some ideas for this part, I think it will be great. We have some features or planning for this. At least we can be prepared for that.
Yeah, could you please add that if for the either in the special interest or in one of the section, because that's very critical for the customer success going forward.
Okay, so it's one more idea for the migration, right? You mean the
migration? Yeah, from VM to basically to the 5G cloud infrastructure, like more like an Anthos project in Kubernetes world.
Yeah. From other ecosystem like the
OpenStack / VMware, whatever it is.
Telecom, VM based.
Yeah.
VMware.
VMware.
Not telecom.
Oh, sorry. Did you just mention some telecom cloud, or I missed heard it?
No, I said the similar idea like Anthos project, ANTHOS, Anthos. It's more like a Google's project.
Yes. Any other ideas that or the tech direction that we should pay more attention to?
I think
this is just the idea that we not necessarily form so many SIGs, just some initial ideas.
Yeah.
Just one comment from my side. We also, this is Nikita Ivanov. We on Igniting Regain side, we're also working with. We kind of thinking, we're developing a kind of a next generation database engine, if you will, what we call the multi-planar database engine, where one of the planes that we're exploring is execution planes. So right now we're Java based, obviously we execute on just a standard, x86 architecture. But we also we're developing a ways to like upload SQL processing, for example, to GPU and CMD. And what we're finding is that, a lot of people just ignoring the CMD processing, and that's in many ways much easier concept than the GPU, because for GPU processing, it's a very limited infrastructure. We should see what in NVIDIA clustering comes around, and the networking comes around. But fundamentally, when you're dealing with the GPUs, it's a narrow case, because you have to offload data to GPU for GPUs to be useful in many ways. While the CMD operations can often, not always, but often get the same performance for the end users. because you basically get the same parallelization on in the CMDs right now are prevalent in, right? You're starting with SSC to AVX instruction sets. They're available everywhere in every cloud. So just, I think it's worthwhile to keep in mind that when it comes to, hardware offload, it's not only GPU at this stage.
Oh,
yeah.
I think we are talking, probably I should make it more clear. There are two different things. For this hardware offloading, I mean, to accelerate the networking process, it's probably offloaded to the smart NICs. It's not related to this topic, the GPU. This GPU is
Okay.
It's mostly for the machine learning training, because we want to improve our platform to give better experience for machine learning applications. Yeah, these are two different tracks.
All right. So yeah. So for folks like me and coming from this background, we need this clear kind of differentiation, because if I would be looking from kind of my vantage point, the minute I see the GPU word, my understanding, this is the resource that can schedule, I can use. And when I see the GPU, I immediately trying to look, where's my CMD support?
No.
Because that's, from an application standpoint, it's just a different planes for execution of my code. I can execute in a classic x86. I can execute on a different instruction set, and I can execute on a different instruction set on different hardware card, GPU cards, for example. So I don't, that's kind of my view of the world.
Yeah. So it's not just a GPU, it could be TPU, it could be running in a P4 switch as well. So I think one of the things that's going to be, I think we're thinking about, actually, we had an initial discussion around AI. There's a thing called compilers, actually. So there are compilers available, the TVMs and all that. So the compilers make that decisioning basically easy.
Yes.
To GPU. So there are all this, so we have all those things in mind.
There are different devices like TPU that can also accelerate the machine learning training.
Yeah, there's a new trend that this decision can be made in runtime, because those planes are becoming available just like in the cloud environments, right? Like what we're discussing today. They can be dynamically become available or reconfigured at runtime. The new trend is to basically make decisions at runtime. Like for example, take our example as a kind of user application on top of Centaurus. We can take a SQL query, analyze it, and based on this analysis, decide where to execute it at runtime. We can execute it on GPU. If data is already there, we can execute it on on a CMD instruction sets available and whatnot. So just again, I don't think we're saying the same thing. I'm just saying that just to get a little bit more clarity to the end user community, I would
maybe we can call it like. Maybe we can call it like heterogeneous platform.
Yeah, heterogeneous platforms. Yeah, I think Nikita has mentioned that it can be not limited to the GPU, but it's more broad, abstract layer of manage the heterogeneous resources.
Workload execution, heterogeneous.
For the project execution plan, I don't want to. Here is the plan that we will start with GPU, because GPU so far is still the mainstreaming devices that the people are using, and the TPUs like for example, Google TPUs, they are still available in their cloud. So for us, it's not easy to develop a feature on top of them and use for users. So I think there are different devices, not GPU, FPGA, all this stuff. But for the engineering planning project plan, we have to make a plan, right? For now, I would. We will start with GPU.
Perfect.
Colleagues, so unfortunately, I have to drop off. So
okay, that's fine.
I'm just up against the time here. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Nikita.
Thank you, Nikita. I think that's gone. But anyway, I think it's a good time actually. We end this meeting now. I think we all 24 minutes, which is good. Everybody passionate about it. Everybody has very good ideas. So that's great, in fact. So I think that's all for us this meeting today.
All right, that's great. Then I'm gonna drop off too. Thank you so much, guys, for this good kickstart. That was wonderful. And I am very excited about the plan. Shouting, it's very, very elaborate and very nicely done. So
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot,
For the
everybody.
meeting frequency, did we have agreement?
I think it's bi-weekly, right? That's what you guys have mentioned in the presentation.
By
No,
month.
No.
I will recommend. I would say I will recommend the maybe set up a next meeting. When we set up a next meeting, maybe and then the meeting itself discuss the frequency. You guys want to change to weekly, monthly, and it's up to the TSC now.
Yeah,
How
probably
about
we can start with the monthly.
Okay.
Yeah, monthly once.
Yeah, we can start out with monthly, and then as we,
If there are too many things,
we
we
can
can
do
increase
more and
the
more
frequency.
projects. We can do bi-weekly or weekly or whatever.
Yeah. I think maybe we have a maybe email group or Slack channel that discuss.
Yeah, we will build an email group and then discuss everything on that.
Yeah, we can start off with monthly, and then we can, later on if we need to. Yeah, this is what typically those guys, other communities did that too.
Okay, I have to go to another meeting.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much. Bye-bye.